All right, my friends, let's get into linear inverses. So linear inverses comes with 4 different steps, just 4. We are replacing our f of x with y. In this case, I'm given g of x. As a reminder that g of x, f of x, h of x, all of the of x's are just a fancy way of saying y. So this is y is equal to negative x plus 5. So our first step is to replace our f of x, in this case g of x, with y. So I'm going to go ahead and replace it. I'm going to use a red pen so you guys can see when I replace things. So my equal sign is actually as is. So this was step 1. Step 2 is to swap my x and y. So now step 2, I'm going to change my y with my x. So I have to put my x is equals to negative plus 5. So it's negative y because I've replaced my x value with the y value, all over 4. Now, my step 3 is to solve for y. So now to solve for y, I must just do everything I know about solving for a variable. I have negative y plus 5, all over 4. Is there anything happening outside of this fraction that I should get rid of? No, there isn't. So there's nothing outside before or after. So I have negative y plus 5 in the numerator. To get to the numerator, I must get rid of my fraction. So I have to multiply 4 on both sides because that's the opposite of division is multiplication. So I have 4x is equal to negative y plus 5, and I have a form of 1. 4 divided by 4 is 1. So I have 4x is equal to negative y plus 5. I'm going to now subtract 5 on both sides. I have 4x minus 5 is equal to negative y. My y is still not by itself. I must divide out that negative now. So I'm going to divide by negative 1 on both sides. What I do to one side, I must do to the entire other side. So I see a form of 1. This negative and this negative cancel out. So now I have y is equal to 4x divided by negative 1. And negative 5 divided by negative 1. And they're going to be added because we are separating this fraction into 2 fractions now. 4x divided by negative 1 is for negative 4x. Negative 5 divided by negative 1 is positive 5. And this is equal to my y. My y must now be replaced with a f of negative 1x. This is function inverse notation. This is my inverse function. This is telling me that I have found my inverse function. So now I'm going to replace this as step 4. I'm going to replace my y with my g, because I had g originally, of negative 1x. And this is equal to negative 4x plus 5. And this is your full answer. This question is really just testing you on whether you can solve for a variable or not. It is a fancy way of doing that. And it gives us our inverse function to our original function. Let's go ahead and start the next one. All right. So the next one that we're going to talk about is, I'm going to do one easy one. This is number 20 on our study guide if you're following along there. But this is h of x is equal to x plus 3. First thing we do, we replace our h of x with a y. So I have y is equal to x plus 3. That's my step 1. Step 2, I must swap my x and y, swap. So I have x is equal to y plus 3. And now my step 3 is to solve for y. So I have to get y by itself. I have x is equal to y plus 3. I'm going to subtract 3 on both sides. Subtract 3 on both sides. So I have now x minus 3 is equal to y. Y is now by itself. It's isolated. That's perfect. Now all I have to do is replace my y with a f of negative 1x. So I have x minus 3 is equal to h of negative 1x. And that's all. Nice and easy. All I have to do is change my h of x to my y, swap my x and y, and then solve for y. And then replace my y with my inverse function notation. All right, now let's do one hard one. Technical difficulties, what can I say? I'm just doing this from the comfort of my own home, not with my fancy stuff back at work. So let's do, this is number 19 on our study guide. This is f of x is equal to 3 over 10 x plus 3 over 2. Fractions, how do we feel about them? Feels like a lot, right? I totally get it. So now, first step, I'm going to replace my f of x with my y. I'm going to remember f of x. I'm going to just put it upward so I don't have to rewrite the whole thing. F of x, same thing as my y. I'm going to now swap my x and y. So I have x is equal to 3 over 10 y plus 3 over 2. Now that I'm here, I want to get y by itself. A reminder, this was my step 2, which was swap my x and y. Step 3, solve for y. So I'm going to subtract 3 over 2 to both sides. So now on the left I have x minus 3 over 2 is equal to my right hand side, which is 3 over 10 times y. This has canceled out because I've subtracted. Now I have to get rid of this fraction that's next to my y. As a reminder, it is multiplying. It is multiplying because it is a coefficient. To get rid of a coefficient, I must undo it somehow. This is 3 over 10. If you wanted to, you can do this separately. You can multiply 10 on both sides and then divide out this 3 after, or you can multiply by the reciprocal. I see that the balloons are starting again. If I multiply by the reciprocal, I multiply everything by the flip of my original fraction. I'm trying to get rid of 3 over 10, so I'm going to multiply by 10 over 3. What I do to one side, I must do to the other. So if you look at here, I'm going to distribute because I see parentheses and I see 2 terms. So I have 10 over 3 times x. 10 times 3 is 30 over 6, which is negative 5, I believe. Yeah, negative 5. 10 times 3 is 30. 3 times 2 is 6. So it's 30 divided by 6, and this is negative. So negative 30 divided by 6 is negative 5. And this is equal to 10 over 10 is a form of 1. If you look at this is just a weird way of me chopping off this 1. Same thing here. This 3 over 3 is a form of 1. I have y left over. Y times 1 is just y. Now I can go ahead and change my y to my f of negative 1x. Because that's my 4th step. All right, my friends, that is all that there is. We're done. If you want to be in really good graces, though, I would move this to the front. So it's f of negative 1x is equal to 10 over 3 times x minus 5. Because this is the best notation for it. Thank you. If you have questions about this, please let me know. If not, I'm really proud of you, and I'm just really happy you're here. For everyone that's here. If you have any questions, I'm here for you. I'm proud of all of you. Thank you. See you later.